Now,
Akiem, I just want to read real quick. You see a big old business meeting is being recorded.
yes, it is being recorded.
No, it's a big old sign in the middle of the screen that says that.
Okay. Is everybody else having that issue?
Just hit continue. You should see something.
Oh, just hit continue.
Yeah, yeah.
That's because they're trying to record it too. They need your permission to do that.
Yeah, they gotta. Whenever I hit record, it's gonna make everybody agree that they want it to be recorded. So,
Acknowledged. Thank you.
all right, that's why you have that there. All right. Where was I? All right. Past this process, I would like for everyone. A few of you, I know you already done my passport process. I don't know if everybody's done it, but this is to be done after you do the passport process, if you can. Some of you guys got issues with the IRS, got issues with child support that will not allow you to get a passport until that is rectified. So one of the documents you're going to be submitting is your authenticated copy of your passport application, along with the other stuff I'm going to show you. So that's what I'm adding to it. Plus, I changed the language in some of the documents, and I'm also adding years ago we talked about the injunction. So that has been changed. It's kind of, you can still look at it like an injunction, but that is going to be an option you can include with submitting your paperwork. All right. Someone said they're waiting for 2 months for the authentication. Yes, authentication takes a while. Sometimes they call you, and if you don't answer, they'll send you a letter. But it took me 3-4 months to get mine back. And COVID has not been helping that situation out at all. All right, so let's go to, close this screen out. Let's go here. I'm going to share the screen in a minute. All right. Every state, well, I won't say every. Yes, Michael, you have to request your authentication. All right, let's go over here, share the screen. All right, this is an article that came out in February 6th of 2018, which is funny that it let me make sure this is, are you guys seeing that screen? With the woman's driver's license, the head?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, good.
Yes, I can.
All right.
It's cut off. Are we supposed to be seeing the full license?
Well, it's cut off because I
Okay.
scrolled through it. You should be seeing me scrolling now. You good?
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the article, and on this article it explains how they, in North Carolina, they passed a bill for the American Indians to have a designation on the driver's license. They can opt in to do that. Then I went and researched 1 or 2 more states, and guess what? Pretty much all of them had the option to self-identify who you are and have it on your driver's license. Now, one of the pitfalls is, which we all know, is that is that they only leave a certain designation for you to check off. And we all know why that is, right? They want you to fit into one of their U.S. citizen titles. And my old teaching is don't fit into a U.S. citizen title. Hang on, there's someone trying to get in here. I don't know. I know there's a couple of extra double entries in here. Hang on a second, y'all. When they say black, white, and other, they are locking you in to what they perceive who you are. And that is not, that's against your rights, you know, because you have a right to say who you are. They don't have a right to tell you who you are. And for years, we've been allowing them to psychologically deceive us into checking off one of these boxes because we felt like we had no other choice. You see what I'm saying? So, but you have choices. And the law is clear, because I'm going to pull out some of these laws and show you in these states, they actually say you have an option to self-identify. In the late 1980s, the State Division of Motor Vehicles decided that vague notation was not needed to meet the law's requirements for a description of the driver, and race was removed from the license starting in January 1990. Now, I know why they probably removed it, because once they identify who people really are, then they realize what jurisdiction they fall in. So if they get you to pick one of theirs, then everybody's assumed to be in their jurisdiction, so they can start writing tickets, they can do whatever they want to you. So, but 3 years later, State Rep Ronnie Sutton, a Democrat from Robeson County, filed a bill that would require a person's race to be listed on the driver's license. Sutton, a member of the Lumbee tribe and the only Native American in the legislature at the time, said that for American Indians, the notation was important in establishing their identity and preventing confusion about their background. So he did this because he didn't want confusion, because they have certain rights. See, the American Indian even has their own Supreme Court. So they're a government running side by side with the current government. But most people don't know their own lineage, so they don't attach themselves to that government. The bill had the support of the State Commission of Indian Affairs. Gregor Richardson, the commission's current executive director, says it's still important to Native Americans to be able to establish their identity on the license, the way many military veterans opt to put the veteran designation on theirs. The General Assembly chose to make race an option on the driver's license at the request of the applicant. Driver's license examiners are not required to ask a customer for his race unless the customer asks for it to appear on the license, said the DMV spokesman, John Brockwell. So they're saying they're going to just automatically, and I know this for a fact, because when I first started this process in October of 2018, and funny about it is this article came out in January of 2018. I knew nothing about this article at that time. And I decided to go in there and do that. They'll automatically check off a box, look at you, and check a box off for you. Which there's all kind of problems with that. You know, someone assuming who you are, right? So let me continue. And in fact, only a tiny fraction of drivers asked for their race to be included on their license. Of the more than 8 million people carrying a North Carolina driver's license or ID last month, only 98,248 or 1.2% listed the person's race according to DMV statistics. Okay? So about a quarter of the people who chose to put race on their license were Native Americans. So 25%, in a state where they account for just 1.6% of the population. Read that scripture and that kind of like, how would he curse a tree that wasn't bearing fruit, but it wasn't supposed to be bearing fruit? Now, when I heard Reverend Ike preach on it, he said, well, you know, anything that doesn't produce any fruit, what's the use for it? He went to the tree to get the fruit. There was no fruit, and he said, may no one get fruit from you. So let's look in our life. How many times, or apply it to yourself? Maybe you're the tree. Maybe it's the message in that is that you're the tree that is supposed to bear fruit, but all you have is leaves. All you have is, what are leaves? You keep, you know, the leaves weren't edible. He was looking for the fruit. Are you just a person who just stands there and just look pretty, look handsome, but you're not bearing any fruit? You're not producing anything of value. And what I mean by of value, are you producing anything value for yourself, for self-improvement? Because in order to improve anything, you have to improve yourself. The first job that you have is to improve yourself, to make yourself better for yourself so that you can be better for the world. So imagine if you was armed with the knowledge that the feminine aspect is wisdom. So now you know what to look for in a wife, a woman who has wisdom. I mean, look around us. Look around. There's not many of that going on. Wisdom. Everybody's chasing after the next fad or trend, you see? Everybody's doing things that are not wise. Why? Because we come from a system that taught us not to be wise. They taught us that we needed their education system to go get a job. that's not wisdom. That's not wise because that's not what God gave us. Remember, wisdom is worth more than gold, silver, and any riches you got. See, when they told the story of Solomon when he became king and God asked him what he wanted, he said wisdom. This here, it really opens your eyes up to why they took this out so that you don't see the power of both man and woman. So they had to choose one. They chose one and put the other one down. And you need them together. See, that man, Solomon, knew he needed wisdom. He needed that feminine aspect of knowledge and understanding and compassion. And that static are being sacrificed. And that's if your stuff's not available, they can't hear it. Sometimes you gotta feel your way through the dark, and I struggled all the way up into the minute. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.
Peace, peace. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sunday Inspiration. I got some people that's on my Instagram channel now. Those somebody had their hand up. I'm not taking any live callers right now today. Not at this time. Later on tonight, I will be doing the 1099 meeting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when I'll be doing that, and we'll be doing a session on 1099s, just talking about those, dispelling any misconceptions when it comes to that. But right now, it's Sunday Inspiration. Somebody said I was echoing. I don't think I'm echoing anymore. I think I addressed that. It's Sunday Inspiration. And I think the title of the show is Do Not Judge. We're going to get into that in a second. Because I think that's very important about judging. Sometimes we're quick to judge people if they've done something wrong, that we feel they did something wrong, or just in general judge. And we have to be mindful that we all are subject to doing things that are not cool, or we might offend someone. Now, one thing, doesn't give you a pass to excuse yourself of anything you've done wrong. It's to be mindful that we all can fall. We all can make mistakes. And sometimes we take wrongdoing, like take a wrongdoing and elevate one wrong over another. Well, you did that, but I would never do this. A wrong is a wrong. It's just this. There's no higher or lower. It's a wrong is a wrong. Now there's some extreme wrongs, like if you assault someone or murder someone, or you a pedophile. Those extreme wrongs. And then there's mild wrongs. Depends on the situation. Little white lies we tell. But they are all wrong, whether extreme or not. And sometimes we'll take and judge. Well, he did that or she did that, but I wouldn't do this. I would do it this. We tend to elevate ourselves over the wrong that we may choose to do. But it's clear that judging is it says here, and it says, do not judge or you will be judged. For the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. I can tell you firsthand that that's true. Because when you look at someone and, oh, you did, and you just highlight it, that same judgment is going to come back on you. You're going to feel that eventually. It may not come back from that person, but it's going to come. So we have to look at situations like, okay, somebody's, may have offended you, or you may have offended someone else. And you gotta, like, you know, you gotta look at it like, you know, forgive them. They don't know what they do, or they may know, and remove the judgment, because in time, whatever they do or did will come back to visit them. Everybody's gonna get their harvest from the things they do. Everybody gets it. No one's excused from it. You will get your harvest. Hang on a second. Let me get my harvest. Hold on a second. Get my I gotta get my juice in me. Y'all know how I do. I haven't had my juice in a minute. Y'all can call me whatever. The drinking preacher, the whatever. I don't care. You know, my cha-cha. Cha-cha. Very good stuff. It's a Russian drink. And I'm sorry if you from Ukraine and you don't support Ukraine. You know, you don't support Russia. But I support this cha-cha. Everybody is going to get their harvest, good or bad. You're getting, see, this world is not picking and choosing who it wants to reward. Y'all do realize that, right? It's not, this guy is not getting a better reward than you because he's better than you. It's all in how you see it. You're getting a reward. Everybody's getting a reward right now. Right now, in this moment, you have gotten your reward. How did you get your reward? By the seeds you planted before you got to this moment. So whatever you got, how much money you got, how well you live, the friends you have in your life, good or bad, relationships you have in your life, good or bad, you have gotten that reward. Now, what we like to do is we like to take the good and be happy with that. Oh, I good. God is blessing me. The world is blessing me. It's giving me, it's treating me right. And then when the bad comes, why is this happening to me? And we're looking everywhere else. Everywhere else for the answer. What this person, they're wrong. They made me feel bad. You're not meeting and interchanging with people and connecting with people by accident. It's just not happenstance. You're meeting and connecting with people because there's a certain energy and attraction in you that's pulling people in and out of your life. That's pulling things, your wealth, prosperity, your peace, your depression, all of that is being pulled to you or pulled away by the energy you're connected to. You're the orchestrator. You're the master of ceremony. You are the master of your situation. We love to blame and point fingers and judge people for the things that they do wrong. Hey, I've been a player in that. But I know one thing, whenever I judge, I always saw it come right back to me. And now that I teach this stuff now, it comes back quick. So be careful to all you people who want to teach and help uplift people. Be careful. Hope you know what you're getting yourself into. Because it's gonna catch you. It's nothing I have ever judged someone for that I wasn't judged with the same measure. And then I have to be mature enough to say, you know what? I did this. Are you mature enough to say I did this? Do y'all realize the freedom in taking responsibility for the things that go right and the things that go wrong? See, we're very unfair. We love to take the good, hey, and love it. But when the bad comes, we want to rebuke it. We want to send it away without addressing the real issue. What brought it here? Just like the good came to you and you brought that to you, you also brought the bad. You can't pick and choose. The universe doesn't have a favorite. You know, the church like to say favor ain't fair. I say it is fair. Because it's coming to all those people who have put in the work to get it. And sometimes we'll sit in the judgment seat and look at people, that guy's a crook, and look at him. Like, a very good example is Bill Gates. People love to talk about him and how much he's buying up land. He's Monsanto. He's trying to poison us. He's trying to get us the injections. He's trying to do all these things. But yet he's a billionaire. And he's living well. And I know people say, well, money don't make you happy or something. But what about him that he continues to expand on his wealth regardless of what people think? And people keep, those people that run around saying that money ain't everything and all of that stuff, I say this always. Right now, just looking at me on YouTube, it's costing you money. Like, you got to pay for that internet. You got to pay for the computer, the phone, whatever you're looking at. It costs money. The lights you got on in your house is costing you money right now. The water you run to cook your food, to take a bath, it's costing you money. The insurance you got to get just to drive your car, it's costing you money. The groceries that you must buy to sustain yourself, it's costing you money. So every day you are circulating currency. But let me ask you a question. Do you think about your money every day and be thankful for your money? How often are you sit there and say, I'm thankful for the money I have? Maybe that's the reason why you can't get any more. You can't even let it grow. It doesn't grow for you because you're not thankful for what you have right here in this moment. How many times do you just sit down and say, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I have the money I need to buy my food, to pay my current bills. No, what people do, they complain. I ain't got enough, man. Money's hard to get. We just make complaints. We make complaints without restraint. We just, without restraint, we just complain about what we don't have. And all you're doing is reinforcing what you don't have. And guess what? You're going to continue to not have because you keep complaining about it. You're judging your situation negatively. You're judging. And see, do not judge doesn't just apply to judging people. It applies to judging situations like your own. Are you judging your situation in a negative way? Instead of judging in a negative way and looking for a solution, and the main solution is to correct your thinking about it. Get rid of the negative talk, the self-doubt about how much you don't have. Just keep looking at that picture in your mind of how much lack you have. If you take away that picture in your mind of the lack mindset and just look at what you do have, I can guarantee you start to see, wait a minute, I'm living pretty good. I would like to do better, but I got what I need right now. You're not starving to death. You got a roof over your head. And the main thing, you got your health. And once you become thankful for what you have right now, then you move to the next levels of having more or getting more. What was the key to Solomon's wealth, right? He asked for wisdom in order to be able to be a good king. He didn't ask for material things. He asked for wisdom because with wisdom, you'll know how to manage money properly. Some of us don't have proper money wisdom, and that's why we can't keep it. But if you ask, well, let me have wisdom on how I can multiply my assets, multiply my currency. right? Because when you judge a situation in a bad way, you're going to get that measure that you judged on that situation. You're going to get it. You're going to keep getting more. And this is why the cycle keeps repeating itself. You look up today and you complain, and next week you're in the same situation because you didn't appreciate and realize where the real responsibility is of making money. It's not knowing how to make money. You can know all of the processes to do certain things. But if you don't have your mind correctly on how to operate to keep yourself prosperous, and you keep defaulting to these negative mind states, your money will come and it will go just as fast as it came. That's why you'll have moments of having a lot. Wow, I got a surplus, and then you'll look for ways to get rid of your money. You'll buy things that don't prosper you or don't make it multiply. See, instead of taking money and buying assets, you're buying liabilities, right? I was going to read this. This is my book, the Neville Goddard Collection. Neville Goddard Collection. Can you see that? It's got all of his stories in here. And some of the titles is At Your Command, Your Faith is Your Fortune. That's true. Freedom for All, The Art of Believing, Out of This World, Feeling is the Secret. See, the reason why a lot of things are not working for some people because they're feeling how they feel about the situation is creating the physical manifestation of it. Your feelings. Just think about stuff you're going through right now. What you're actually seeing and physically experiencing. You would have to, if you're being honest, you had a thought about that thing or that situation or that person prior to you experiencing it. You envisioned exactly what you have right now. Awakened imagination, seed time and harvest, the law and the promise plus class lesson talks. So it's got all of this stuff. But what I was reading was chapter 21, and it says this is a little bit away from what I was talking about judging, do not judge. But I think it's a good story because I think once I read this, you'll understand why I'm reading this because it's our mindset that's keeping us where we are. You're never going to get any further than the ideas in your mind. That's it. You're only going to get as far as you think and believe. There's no surprises. Just if you could lock your consciousness onto that, what I just said, that you are only as far as you think and believe. Okay? The story of Daniel is the story of every man. This is Daniel's in the lion's den, chapter 21. Thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. The story of Daniel is the story of every man. It is recorded that Daniel, while locked in the lion's den, turned his back upon the hungry beast, and with his vision turned toward the light coming from above. He prayed to the one and only God. Now, metaphorically, if you want to just use symbolisms, a lot of us, from a symbolic or metaphysical or esoterical, we are living in a lion's den, so to speak. Everything is seeking to get something from us. When you go to work, they want the tax money, right? They want their piece. Everything wants something from you. Everything is seeking to devour some part of your existence. And the main part they're trying to get to is your thinking and your mindset. The lions who were purposely starved for the feast remained powerless to hurt the prophet. Daniel's faith in God was so great, it finally brought about his freedom and his appointment to a high office in the government of his country. This story was written for you to instruct you in the art of freeing yourself from any problem or prison in the world. Most of us, on finding ourselves in the lion's den, would be concerned only with the lions. We would not be thinking of any other problem in the whole wide world but that of lions. Yet we are told that Daniel turned his back upon them and looked toward the light that was God. If we could follow the example of Daniel while threatened with any dire disaster, such as lions, poverty, or sickness, if, like Daniel, we could remove our attention to the light that is God, our solutions would be similarly simple. So basically what it's saying is, if you have problems, turn your back on them. Turn away from them. Stop looking at the problem and look away to the solution. Too many times we spend a lot of time saying things like, this ain't right. Why? Okay, it's happening. Once you accept it, okay, I'm in the middle of this. I'm in the middle of this lion den. Let me not be so concerned with this bad situation and be more concerned with how I'm thinking and saying, okay, this is done. This is taken care of. I'm away from this. I can handle this. Everything's going to be good. What's the alternative? Well, that's wishful thinking. That's fantasizing. Well, before something happens to you, it's a fantasy, good or bad. It's an idea. When you have an anticipation, oh, if this is bad, it's going to happen. It hasn't actually happened to you yet. You have an idea that it will be bad, and you choose to participate anyway, and it becomes bad because you already had determined that to be bad. You are right. Yes, if you say something is bad, it is bad. But if you say something is good, it is good. According to your faith, according to your belief, things are measured out to you. All right. For example, if you were imprisoned, no man would need to tell you that what you should desire is freedom. Freedom, or rather the desire to be free would be automatic. The same would be true if you found yourself sick or in debt or any other predicament. Lions represent seemingly unsolvable situations of a threatening nature. Every problem automatically produces its solution in the form of a desire to be free from the problem. Therefore, turn your back upon your problem and focus your attention upon the desired solution by already feeling yourself to be that which you desire. Feeling is the key. This is why women are very strong in this area, because what dominates them? Feelings, how they feel about a situation. Not actually what they see. It's how they feel about what they see. This is where they can manifest things a lot easier than men. Because we're more of men are more logical mind and picking things apart and say, okay, this is how we do it. No feelings, really. See, but when you put the man and the woman together, with a man with his logical mind and thinking through problems or issues, and a woman with the feeling who supports that, you have a powerful thing. This is why harmony in the home is central to a relationship, being on the same page, because that feeling, those emotions that the female brings to the table, is what is going to help produce the physical, right? In order for the baby to survive and subside the mother's womb, that woman had to have a degree of feeling and nurturing in her to want that child to come into the world, and expectations and visions. And she's feeding that child not only the nourishment of what she's taking in physically, she's also feeding that child her own feelings and emotions. See, we growing up in an environment, we're really not taught how our positions, where we are as men and women, how we're supposed to use those differences to strengthen our relationship and our environment around us. We have been taught how to be divisive towards each other. We have been taught to judge each other. Oh, he's a man. He, you know how men do. And then guys, you know how women are, they this and that. And we're so busy caught up in looking at what's bad about the bad qualities, or I wouldn't even call them bad qualities. I would call them what we judge as bad, what we have come to adopt and agree to as bad about each other. We're so in tune with that we have stopped appreciating the differences between each other and seeking to enhance those differences. Instead, this world has taught us to suppress those differences, to exterminate those differences. And all we're doing from a mental place, destroying each other. This is why we have so much disharmony in the world right now. This is why. Right there. We have been given a dysfunctional view of how we're looking at each other. And all these YouTube channels are profiting from that. Well, they got YouTube channels dedicated. Men are dedicated. You would, 20, 30 years ago, you would never see men sitting around talking about women in a way that they do now, in a disparaging way. Like I own the barbershop, right? We talk about women, but we talk about, oh man, she looks good. And we talk about physical qualities that we like about women. But now guys are just sitting around gossiping about bad things when it comes to women. And then they have the audacity to be upset why they keep meeting bad people. If you're sitting around judging and putting negative things out on the other gender, men and women, you will always see that. It's just like if you buy a red car, you're going to see red cars now. If you buy a particular model car, you're going to see that car. Those cars were always there. But you see it now because your mind is focused on it. You see the problems and you're dealing with the problems because your mind has focused on it. But you can see good things if you focus on that and ignore and turn your back, so to speak, in this, like Daniel turned his back on the lions and didn't give them any power to give him fear that they would eat him or devour him. See, you turn your back on these negative stereotypes that they're putting on the men and women and look for the good. And guess what? You will find that good. You will see it. Listen, you will find that person you're sitting with right now, that you're with, you will find something good in them. Even no matter what they did, you will find something good. And if you nurture that good, how do you know? How do you know? By your behavior, you won't transform them. See, we ain't taught that one right there. Where I ain't trying to raise no grown folks. I ain't trying. They should know better. How you know? How you know they should know better? How do you know? You wasn't there when they was raised. You don't know what created this persona that they're exhibiting now. You don't know. Somebody said, hi, good evening. They must be on a different time zone. You don't know. You don't know what people backgrounds and upbringings are, and we're quick to, oh, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with their problems. This is why people are stumbling from relationship to relationship, because they won't take the time to really get to know and understand that very person that they got with and said that they are committed to them. They won't. They don't have time for that. That's a form of judgment. Now, no one's saying, you sit there and take abuse off of people. No, we're not saying that. But a lot of problems can be worked out for the most part with a little patience and a little bit of that love you claimed you got. Because a lot of y'all talk about love, but when they come to go through some problems, what happens? It goes out the window. Therefore, turn your back upon your problem and focus your attention upon the desired solution by already feeling yourself to be that which you desire. Continue in disbelief, and you will find that your prison wall will disappear as you begin to express that which you have become conscious of being. I have seen people apparently hopelessly in debt apply this principle in but a very short time. Debts that were mountainous were removed. I've also seen those whom doctors have given up as incurable apply this principle, and in an incredibly short time, their so-called incurable disease vanished and left no scar. It shows you can heal yourself through the power of your believing. To the carnal mind, the mind that's locked in this material matrix, won't understand what I just said. Because the reason why they don't understand it is this. I'm going to go back to the scripture. And it's Matthew 7, chapter 7, verses 6. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs. If you do, they may trample them under their feet and turn it and tear you to pieces. It's saying the knowledge that I just showed you about the key is the mind and your consciousness. You can't give that to everybody. They can't see it. So when you're sitting there, hey man, you guys just believe in yourself. They're gonna look at you and get upset. They're gonna curse you out. They're gonna devour you verbally. What is this guy talking? He's crazy. My mind can fix this. You see this mess over here? My mind can't fix this. I gotta physically do something right now to do this. This ain't nothing else but that. They will never make the connection. In order for something to be fixed out here, it already needs to be fixed in here. Everything in the physical comes from the things that are unseen. Everything seen comes from the thing that is unseen. Y'all get it? Everything seen comes from the thing that is unseen, meaning it comes from the depths and the power of your mind. That's where it comes. Sit there and think about that for a second. So if you're sitting in the middle of a mess right now, sit there and think about how it got that way. No, it ain't his fault. It ain't her fault. And I know you want to be quick to point the finger at whoever. No, stop and think. Before you even put it on them, stop, look at your own thoughts and pay attention to them. All of the thoughts you had leading up to that. And right in that, the maze of those thoughts, you'll find you at the beginning of that maze, a very thought, a very idea that got you where you are right now. Okay? See, we love taking credit for that good stuff. Man, I'm good. But when it don't look good, we want to cast it out to someone else's fault. Mm-mm. Look upon your desires as the spoken words of God and every word of prophecy of that which you are capable of being. Do not question whether you are worthy or unworthy to realize these desires. Accept them as they come to you. Give thanks for them as though they were gifts. Feel happy and grateful for having received such wonderful gifts. Then go your way in peace. Such simple acceptance of your desires is like the dropping of fertile seed into an over-prepared soil. When you drop your desire in consciousness as a seed, confident that it shall appear in its full-blown potential, you have done all that is expected of you. To be worried or concerned about the manner of their unfoldment is to hold these fertile seeds in a mental grasp and therefore to prevent them from really maturing to full harvest. That's another thing. Sometimes we want things to happen and we keep worrying, is it going to happen? It's going to happen. Do you know you're holding it back just by seeing in your mind that it's not there yet? So you're going to get more not there yet, meaning you must already be living the experience or feeling the experience of which you desire. You must have that. That must be already in you, ready. So when it does show up in the physical, you're just making a connection to what you already manifested in your thoughts. You see, the physical is lagged out, meaning it's got lag. Everything that you're experiencing, what you're doing right now, it comes from the ideas of your mind, and you're experiencing those thoughts. You send forth these desires, these thoughts ahead of you, preparing a place for you to experience, preparing a table. So why not prepare a good table, a joyous table, a prosperous table, a loving table, a patient table? Why not prepare that? Don't be anxious or concerned as to results. Results will follow just as surely as day follows night. Have faith in this planting until the evidence is manifest to you. That it is so. Your confidence in this procedure will pay great rewards. The best times when I manifest things is when I say, okay, this is going to happen, and it happens. I ain't going to sit here and worry about how, if I have enough money, if I even know how to do it well enough. I don't worry about those things. I don't. The opportunity just shows up. The people that are required to help you or assist you or walk with you in those things that need to get you where you want to be, they'll show up. And they will voluntarily assist you if you practice these techniques. You ain't got to force them. You ain't got to beg them. They just going to show up. Problem that keeps a lot of our issues, our stuff, our problems growing bigger or keep it persisting. Because when the opportunity shows up to release you so you can walk away from and be away from those problems, or in the respect of this story, lions that seek to devour, we too worry about the problem. You know, well, I wanna make some more money. Right? You say that I want to make some more money. Then if someone comes, hey man, you could do this and that. Oh man, I know people that did that, and it's not, I don't know about that. That's somebody just offered you a solution, and you just kicked it and you scoffed at it. You didn't even try it. How do you know if you don't try it? You didn't even consider it. They find every reason not to keep themselves where they are. They talk about being in another place. They talk about turning their back on poverty and living in a situation that they claim they don't desire, but they find excuses to stay. See, they haven't made a true commitment to success. They have not made a true commitment to relieving themselves of their problems because they always see problems. They don't see opportunities. Your confidence is in this procedure will pay great rewards. You wait but a little while in the consciousness of the thing desired, then suddenly, and when you least expected, the thing felt becomes your expression. Life is no respecter of persons and destroys nothing. It continues to keep alive that which man is conscious of being. Let me read that again. Life is no respecter of persons and destroys nothing. It continues to keep alive that which man is conscious of being. That means it's your consciousness keeping all of this stuff alive. Things will disappear only as man changes his consciousness. Deny if you will, it still remains a fact that consciousness is the only reality and things but mirror that which you are conscious of being. The heavenly state you seek will be found only in the consciousness, for the kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. And guess what? The kingdom of hell is in you too. You choose which one you want to participate in. You choose the world you want to live in. You choose hell or you choose heaven. Because heaven and hell are states of consciousness within you. And sometimes you can float between heaven and hell. And you've been doing it all your life. You 1 minute you're heaven, in that brief moment where you're entertaining yourself, and then you're back back in hell. You ever have a good thing happen to you, and then the next minute you're thinking about what's going to go wrong? Because you're so unappreciative of the fact that you just had a good experience that you got to look for something to go wrong in order to balance you off. Yeah, things can't stay good forever. Yes, they can if you stay thinking good forever, if you stay in that place and don't shift. But we shift. Your consciousness is the only living reality, the eternal head of creation. That which you are conscious of being is the temporal body that you wear. To turn your attention from that which you are aware of being is to decapitate that body. But just as a chicken or a snake continues to jump and throb for a while after its head has been removed, likewise, qualities and conditions appear to live for a while after your attention has been taken from them. Man, not knowing the law of consciousness, constantly gives thought to his previous habitual conditions, and through being attentive to them, places upon these dead bodies the eternal head of creation. Thereby, he reanimates and resurrects them. You must leave these dead bodies alone and let the dead bury the dead. Man, having put his hand to the plow, that is, after assuming the consciousness of the quality desired, by looking back, can only defeat his fitness for the kingdom of heaven. So you can't look back. Once you change your mind and you become a new person, you can't look back. Because looking back brings back what you experienced and some. You know how it is. You try to go on a diet and you do good. You're not eating those things that's keeping that weight on, and you're doing real good. And then you go back and take just a little bit. I'm just gonna do a little something, something. The next you know, you worse off than you was when you started. Can't go back. As the will of heaven is ever done on earth, you are today in the heaven that you have established within yourself. But here on this very earth, your heaven reveals itself. The kingdom of heaven really is at hand. Now is the accepted time. So create a new heaven, enter into a new state of consciousness, and a new earth will appear. They like to say the kingdom of heaven is really at hand. The kingdom of heaven is in your hands. It's up to you. You choose. You choose. I want to go back to the scripture, then I'm going to close it out. It says, why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? Isn't that something? We are very good at looking at problems in other and trying to fix them. When we got to, do you realize that is the plank? That's good. When it talks about this plank or whatever, this big thing in your eye, the plank is you believe in your mind. You have the audacity. You have the what do you call, the arrogance to believe you could fix somebody. That's the plank. That's the thing that's blocking your vision. That's really fixing your own problems. How can you say to your brother, let me take that speck out of your eye when all the time there's a plank in your own eye, and that plank is your own self-righteousness that you can fix someone else? You hypocrite. First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Now, this is written purposely. Take the plank out of your own eye, which is bigger than a splinter or a speck. So it's really saying that you ain't got time to fix somebody else's problem because your problem's so huge, it's going to take you pretty much a lifetime to get rid of that. And like I said, the plank is the idea and the audacity and the assumption that you can remove a splinter out of someone's eye when you're thinking and concentrating on, I think I could fix that. No, yeah, that person got to remove that out of theirs. They got to take care of their own problems. All right. Keep in mind that tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll have that 1099 meeting. If you're on my email list, you will get the invite. You'll get the email. I sent out an email. If you're not on my email list, go to akiemel.com and get on the email list. I'll send you the invite. You'll be there. Now, before I shut it down, words of warning. I've gotten several emails. Like one of the emails was, I didn't get the templates. Right? When the email clearly states for attendees, the meeting hasn't happened, so you're not an attendee yet. You haven't attended. That's when they come. Now, the reason why I mention that is this. I don't tolerate people who don't read thoroughly and they come at me with these types of questions. My meetings are designed for people who want to really get to know stuff and really learn it. Don't take my word of it. They're going to study. You're going to study. I'm not going to be the holding hands, happy, kumbaya type of teacher. I just want to let you. So if you can't deal with my style of teaching, just don't show up to the meeting. Okay, I'm just putting that out there right now because I will block, I will remove people that I feel that are not there to really learn. Because some people just don't want to read things. They don't want to take the time to really get to know things. This it's about educating yourself. It's me pointing in a direction to read and educate yourself. I'm a signpost here. Here's the information. Read it. Get to know it. Here it is. Now, I know there's people out there that teach, oh, go study. They'll say things arbitrarily. Oh, go study for yourself, but don't give you any direction on where to go study it. I'm not that type of teacher. I give you where to read it. Where I got it from, you'll get to read it. I share that. And a lot of times those guys are talking like that. They don't even know where they read it from. They heard it from somewhere. They heard it from somebody. But if you're one of those people that really want to know and understand things, feel free to join. But if you're one of those people that lazy thinkers, you could ask my prior students, I remove people. I don't have time for that. And if you're in there for some type of greed and that's another thing. This is for knowledge and to free yourself from certain situations. But anyway, with that being said, I am going to leave you guys until later on this evening. I will send out another email just to I know I realized I didn't put the time zone there. It's Eastern time. I apologize for that. Then I had the wrong date. I corrected that. Um so I'll send out another email that'll have all the details. And yes, if you show up, you will get the information that I did promise. And let's see, what am I gonna leave y'all with? Something encouraging. Something encouraging. This one here. Peace. Yeah, so I think the 24th, we're going to go visit Portugal because actually, you know, with all of the things that we're thinking about actually purchasing property outside the country, you know, even may not even live here anymore in the States. Shoot, things are getting a little shaky. Who knows? But that's what we're doing. But see, I'm saying that to say this, you could do the same thing. The only reason why you may not be doing these things because your consciousness not accepted the fact that you can do them. And that's why I'm talking about the economy of the mind. Because how you're living, what you're doing, what you're finding yourself doing on a daily basis, or how you're living is based off the economy of your mind. So ask yourself the question. And this is a direct question. So ask yourself a question. Just take time this minute right now. Look at your situation. I'm sure most people listening to me, the only reason why you're listening to me because you want something different. You want something better. You want to feel better about yourself. You want to feel better about your life. You want to feel better about your life. You want to feel better about work, whatever that is, right? So there's always room for improvement or being better. So look at your situation and look at how it is and ask yourself a question. My current situation, why is it this way? Now, if you're answering that question saying, well, because I have this bad job, because I can't do this, saying a bunch of I can'ts and blaming reasons outside of you, things outside of you, then you are looking in the wrong direction. And that's why this situation is the way it is. Because the first place you need to check is your thought process. How do I view money? What do I think is a lot of money? What do I believe to be a lot of money? You have to go through something to accomplish something. Say it again. You have to go through something to accomplish something. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not willing to go through something to accomplish something. It's too hard. That's too much. I hear people say it all the time. Man, that stuff you do, I couldn't do that. Working that hard and making all those phone calls, get those loads. I can't do it. That's too much. Basically what they're saying, it's easier for them to go work for somebody and be told what to do. That's what's easy. I think they just be talking when they say that. They don't really understand what they're saying. It's like Christ said when they had him up there, crucify him, and he said, forgive them, Father. They know not what they do. And I'll say to that, forgive them, Father. They know not what they say. They don't know the consequences of their very words. They don't know. It's that simple. Do you realize that you're receiving your reward of every word that you utter out of your mouth? There's a saying in the church, power of life and death is in the tongue. And that is very true. The power of life and death is in your tongue. The power of success and failure is in your tongue, in the words you utter. Not just the words you utter, the words you think. Because the thinking of the words come before you actually speak it. You have to double down on it, meaning you have to contract with the word before you speak it, right? You think about it, hey, this is what I'm thinking, and you speak it. You think about it, then you decide to speak it. You create a contract with your consciousness. Oh, I accept what this is as the truth, and I'm going to speak it now so that I can solidify it and see that it comes forth. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.